Good afternoon. I think we're live now. I'm
We
asking
are,
Baron.
we're
Yeah?
live. Yes,
All
ma'am.
righty. So this is a new experience for us all, a Zoom ribbon cutting. Bear with us if we have any technical issues. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have some guests in person and we have a lot of folks online for the grand opening of the Thorn Darling Warmack Grow Butterfly Garden at the Betty Warmack Library in Grand Prairie, Texas. I'm Amy Sprinkles. I'm your library director, and I will be your host for today.
Oh.
When we expanded the library a year ago and created an amazing Create Children's Program Room with panoramic views, your library staff envisioned being able to have programs in the garden, in a yard outside that might be a butterfly garden. So we created this gorgeous program room with all of these windows that you can see in the presentation on your screen. And we envisioned being able to look out of those windows into a garden where we could also have learning opportunities for children. So big ideas, but not big money, until three families stepped in. Our benefactors, the Thorn, Darling, and Warmack families, made this garden a reality. Our deepest appreciation and thanks go to Lila Thorn in memory of Bill Thorn, the Sue Darling family in Sue's memory, and the Warmack family in memory of Betty Warmack. Lila's with us on the call today, but has delegated the opportunity to speak to me. I'm happy to tell you a little bit about Mr. Thorn. Bill served as the City Council District 3 councilman from 2005 until his sudden passing in 2013, at which time Lila was appointed and elected to serve District 3 through 2017. Before serving on City Council, Bill served on the city's Planning and Zoning Commission and Airport Advisory Board. He was a graduate of Leadership Grand Prairie, and a retired American Eurocopter director. Bill was a board member of the Friday Rotary Club and an active member of the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce. He was a U.S. Army officer, a test pilot for Bell Helicopter. He helped establish helicopter medical programs in major U.S. cities and served on the board of directors of the Helicopter Foundation International. He was an avid supporter of animals, libraries, nature, ecology, the environment, and gardening. Thank you. He would have loved the opportunity children will have to learn in this garden and would have been here probably very, very often to help us pull weeds and nurture the plants and talk to the kids. I know he's here in spirit and love, helping us make this garden a success. Now, if our technology works, Catherine is going to tell us a little bit more about her mom, Sue. She was a major supporter of literacy and the Grand Prairie Library System. Miss Catherine, are you on the line?
I am.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi, everyone. So first, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out, both virtually and in person, to celebrate the grand opening of the Warmack Library Butterfly Garden. It means so much to our family that you took time out of your busy lives to celebrate our mother, Bill Thorn, and Betty Warmack, and the wonderful gesture of a butterfly garden honoring their legacy. Sue Darling, formerly known as Mary Sue Bryant, was born in Magnum, Oklahoma on March 3, 1938. She married the one and only love of her life, Tommy Ray Darling, and eventually settled in Grand Prairie, where they built their home and raised their 5 children. Sue was preceded in death by her husband, Tommy Ray, in May 2014. Their daughter, Teresa Wallace, and 2 grandchildren, Ray and Kenzie Wallace, who were killed by a drunk driver on July 4th, 1996. She is survived by her remaining 4 children, Ron Darling, Diana Darling Menking, David Darling, and Catherine Nadeau, and 5 grandchildren. There are many reasons this particular event and date represent our mother so well. The date, June 19th, to some known as Juneteenth, commemorates the emancipation from slavery in Texas on that day in 1865. Anyone who knew our mother would say she was inclusive of all, and that inclusivity became instilled in her children. Our house had a revolving front and back door and many rooms to share if a relative or friend needed a place to recuperate, start a new life, or just find acceptance. The building. This library where our mother spent so much of her time volunteering, and the books inside that my mom craved and devoured every free moment she got. The place, a garden representing our mother's love of gardening, and the symbol, butterflies, a symbol of growth and beauty. Our mother came from very humble beginnings, growing up on a farm and then successfully raising 5 children, all the while she herself growing and becoming more and more beautiful with age. Thank you, Warmack Library, for being the refuge for our mother when she probably most needed it from parenting. Thank you for this lovely butterfly garden in honor of our mother, Bill and Betty. And once again, thank you, friends and family, for showing up. We can see Sue right now giggling and smiling, that sweet, sweet smile, reaching out to all of us with her ever so wonderful big hug, and then grabbing a book or a gardening shovel to finish out her day. Love to you all, the darlings.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely tribute to your mom. In studio with us today are Wally Warmack and his daughter, Pat Evans. I'm going to step out of frame and let them step in so that y'all can see them. Well, Pat's got a cast on. Everybody wave.
Hey.
Our screen is a little off, but I think everybody can see y'all.
Over a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna, Wally has, I think, delegated to me to talk about Betty.
That is correct.
All right, awesome. Okie doke. So anybody in Grand Prairie who's involved with libraries knows the name Betty Warmack. In fact, we're in the Betty Warmack Library right now. She was a longtime community leader and avid library advocate and benefactor. I'm seeing that, are we having technical issues? Are we good? Yeah? Okay. Betty said, sorry, people were coming at me with technology and I thought maybe there was a glitch. We have 51 attendees right now, so that's a great audience. Thank y'all all for joining in on this today. Betty said, if you can find just one thing to do to serve Grand Prairie, do it. It will make this community a better place. She lived her life by that philosophy. Beginning in 1963, Betty supported the Grand Prairie Library System with her time, talents, and financial resources. And we were so lucky, you know, if you got Betty, you got the family too. So it was like times 3. It was to the 3rd power, which is wonderful. She actually had a degree in library science, and which she received in 1952 from Texas State College for Women in Denton. In 53, she married Wally, and they had one child, Patricia. Upon moving to Grand Prairie in 53, Betty began her service to the Grand Prairie Library System. From 66 to 80 and again in 1998, Betty was a member of the library board, serving as chairperson for 11 years. Beginning in 66, she was active in the Friends of the Library and later served as president for many, many years, right, Wally?
That is correct.
Yeah. Under her direction, and Wally's been the treasurer of the Friends for a lot of years, yeah. And so many years. The Friends raised funds. Every year, they raised thousands and thousands of dollars for the library for equipment, supplies, and programming. She served on the board of the Library Foundation as well and was a staunch supporter of the bond elections used to build the main library, expand the main library, and build what we are in today, her namesake, the Warmack Library. She was a beloved force of nature for libraries, literacy, and education for all. We think of her daily. We are very grateful to Wally and Pat for helping to make this garden come true in her name. Now, because we're inside and not actually outside today, as we had hoped to be, wanted to show you a couple of photos of the garden. It's quite lovely. We have signage explaining the butterfly life cycle and pollination. We have signage on all of the plants and why they're important to the butterfly population. And it extends around the entire corner of the building. It's quite lovely, and we're looking forward to several of us have already been out weeding in the early mornings, and we're looking forward to being able to have our programs out there as well. You'll notice our beautiful butterfly Mural, a local artist, Danny Kent, did that for us. And we have many people all the time standing in front of it, taking their photos, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen. Again, we thank the Thorne, Darling, and Warmack families for their generosity that made this garden possible. So in anticipation of this event, we checked out 40 activity kits to our families in town, which our programmers are going to lead the kids through now. If you would like to stay on the line and enjoy the educational activity, we welcome you. Otherwise, thank you for joining our virtual grand opening, and we hope you come and visit us at one of our libraries soon. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn the camera and we're going to start our educational activities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Miss Caitlin. This is Miss Linda. Now is the time for everyone who checked out one of our kits for this event to pull out your kits, and we're gonna run through those activities for y'all.
So the first activity, if you want to go along with us, pull out your Butterfly Lifecycle paper, and this is going to be the headband. You would all have these in your bags. So go ahead and pull those out, and Miss Caitlin is going to show you how to put the headband together.
Okay guys, it wouldn't be a library program if we didn't have a headpiece. So that's the first thing we're gonna put together today, and you guys are gonna get to have one of these beautiful headpieces like me, and we'll make one right now for Miss Linda. So the first thing you're gonna do is pull out what should be a blank piece of paper for y'all. Go ahead when you have the chance and color that piece of paper. Mine's already colored so that I can do the rest of it for you. So I've got this Butterfly Lifecycle headband, and it says egg, caterpillar, chrysalis, and butterfly. Miss Linda, can you tell me about the butterfly life cycle while I cut this out?
I would be so happy to tell you about the life cycle. So all living things, plants, animals, bugs, people, we all have a life cycle. And with a butterfly, they start out and they are an egg, usually laid on a leaf. If you go outside, you'll find leaves with little dots. They may be butterflies, they may be another insect. Well, once they hatch, they turn into a caterpillar. You may remember the very hungry caterpillar. So at first they're little, and then they eat and they eat and they eat and they eat. And then they make a little house called a chrysalis. Sometimes it's called a pupa. And they sit in there for a little while. When they are finished and ready to come out of their chrysalis, they are a butterfly, and there are many different varieties. We're hoping to attract our monarch butterflies. They will come through here. They travel every year. They go into the United States, but they come back through, a lot of them come back through Texas in the fall at different times, and they rely on different plants to survive. They love milkweed, they love lantana plants. All the plants that we have out in the garden are something that the monarch butterflies love to eat. And then they fly to Mexico. They go to a certain place in Mexico where there are trees, and that's and then they start the cycle all over again. They travel back out to the United States. So,
Thank you for that, Miss Linda, teaching us about the butterflies. Okay, so the next thing, once I've got all of these cut out, I'm going to put them in the correct order on my green sentence strip. This is going to be your headband. So what is the first one? Do I start with the chrysalis? Is that right?
No.
No. Is it the caterpillar? Do we first have caterpillar?
No, it doesn't start with the caterpillar.
It's the egg. So the first one I'm going to glue onto my headpiece is the egg. So make sure everyone's got glue and scissors available at home.
While you're gluing, can I tell a joke, Mr.?
I would love to hear a joke, Miss Linda.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, Mr. Warmack and
Yes, ma'am.
Patricia?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I guess this one I have memorized. Why did the boy throw the butter out the window?
Butterfly, butterfly, butterfly.
To see, well, I told you that yesterday. To see a butterfly. Okay. Are you ready for the next step?
I'm ready. Okay, so now I'm going to put on the caterpillar. And do you have another joke?
I certainly have another joke. Okay, let's see if you, now you know jokes have to be funny, all right? So you have to think about it, all right? This is just a bug joke. When is a baseball player like a spider? When is a baseball player like a spider?
Fly, bug, run, pitcher.
No.
When he catches a fly.
Oh!
All right, are you ready
It
for?
was funny, just like you promised.
Not too funny, but fun.
Remember, these are kid jokes. The funniest part of telling jokes to kids is that they all laugh, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, I got it. All right.
Okay, and then next, now I have all of the Butterfly Lifecycle on here. It's almost ready to wear. So the next thing you're gonna do is measure it around your own head. Mine's already measured, clearly. So Miss Linda's got a butterfly on. I'm just gonna guess what Miss Linda's size.
Let's see if they can remember the steps. There's 4. Ready?
Mm-hmm. 1.
Egg.
Egg. Okay. 2.
Is the caterpillar.
Uh-huh.
Got to eat and eat and eat, get big. Then he turns himself into, he makes a little house called
It's a hard word.
chrysalis. Pupa is a little easier. And finally, you've got your beautiful
My wings butterfly. So now this thing, you guys can pull out a stapler or glue if that's what you have. Measure it to your head or your child's head. Help them out if they need. Staple that into place. And then we've got a couple of these pipe cleaners. You guys can either use these for a later activity, or if you want to pull one out for this, I can just fold this in half and turn it into little antenna right here, and then add this as the final piece of your headpiece. And then you can just staple that on, tape it on, whatever.
And you know what? If you did not pick up a kit, you can do this on your own. You can cut out a strip of construction paper, and you can draw the egg, you can draw the caterpillar, that's easy. You can draw the little chrysalis, just kind of an oval shape, and then draw your beautiful butterfly. And that is the life cycle of a butterfly. In your bag, let's pull out next. You're gonna have a small bag and a big bag. Let's pull out the small bag, okay? It has 2 craft projects in it, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on them because they're pretty self-explanatory. You have a puzzle. Mine is already kind of falling apart. It's a puzzle. So I put it in here pretty carefully for you all. You'll color it, and it'll look something like this. I Mod Podged this so I could show you what it looks like, but then it can come apart and you can do the puzzle over and over again. So that's a pretty easy but pretty cool little craft for you, since we're talking about butterflies. Another craft that was in there is a scratch off, and it's in the shape of a butterfly. And underneath this black are all sorts of colors. And you have in your bag, and I'm going to tell you, do not poke anybody with this. This is a stylus, and it is kind of sharp on one end. All right, so do not poke anybody. And you just start scratching, and you make your design. This is what mine looks like. There's a little string in there too, so you can hang your butterfly up. So I just scratched and scratched and scratched till I got it the way I wanted it to look, and there's my butterfly. Starts out like this, ends up something like that. Okay.
So,
oh, I know.
do we have, is there more fun stuff in that bag, Miss Linda?
There is.
I know. Okay, well, one thing, I think we have some loose pipe cleaners in there. What kinds of things could we make with pipe cleaners? Today we're talking about butterflies. So I made a couple butterflies with my pipe cleaners. Now, it's really important that you guys don't just try to do exactly what I do. We all want to make our own things. So you guys create a butterfly or maybe even a caterpillar, whatever it is you want to make, and do it the way you envision it. So here's one of my butterflies. There's another one. Miss Linda, did you make something too?
I was going to try to surprise Miss Caitlin, but she saw it. Yes, I made a butterfly bracelet.
And I was immediately jealous. A beautiful butterfly
Yeah, I
bracelet.
like bracelets. So you have 5 pipe cleaners. This only took 4, really 3.5. I'm going to just tell you really fast in case you're curious. It's just fold your pipe cleaner in half, make a little, looks like rabbit ears to me, but it's a wing, and you just kind of circle that around, make your other wing, circle it around. So there's one big wing, okay? And then you just make another wing to go below it, and then you can wrap another pipe cleaner around it. I made the antenna, and then I just weaved a long pipe cleaner because my wrist is bigger probably than yours, and I was able to make fasten it like a bracelet. So
beautiful. And what is this I see over in the corner? Is that the final activity inside the bag?
So inside your bag with your pipe cleaners, you have a little cone that has no decorations on it, but inside that cone, we have put lots and lots of stickers. So all you need to do, they're all peel off, but I took off the backs, I stuck them on the way I wanted to, but some of them didn't stick very well, so I then took a little bit of glue. And whenever I glue, I always count to 50. And that kind of ensures that it actually is gonna glue, because glue takes a while to dry. So I just stuck that, I'm gonna put that little pink flower there, but I've got probably 8 or 9 stickers. I can do what I want. This is a finished, what would we call this? A spring tree.
A beautiful spring tree.
This is a spring tree, okay? So those are the 5 crafts that we have in our bag today, and I hope you have fun with them.
Well, those were really wonderful crafts, Miss Linda. Does the library offer anything else like this?
Oh, all the time. I think there's a nature kit that you can pick up right now, and that is something that you'll go out into a garden. It asks you some questions and you do some activities, and you can pick them up at any of the libraries.
Yeah, so you guys make sure, follow us on Facebook. We've got lots of kits like this and virtual programs happening all summer long. We have Zoom stuff and Facebook stuff. So lots of things to offer everyone, even when you can't come into the building.
Yep, and we miss seeing you, but we're starting to see people coming through. Some of our friends are visiting us. I'm gonna end with one more joke.
Okay.
You're not gonna get this, but your moms and dads can explain it to you, okay? Why wouldn't they let the butterfly into the dance? Why wouldn't they let the butterfly into the dance? I told you this yesterday.
I don't remember it.
Because it was a mothball.
Oh, mothball, you did tell me this.
Y'all don't know what a mothball is, but ask your moms, okay?
Invited. Thank you, Miss Linda.
Thank y'all for joining us.
We enjoyed it.
Bye.
Come see the garden. Come get your picture made. Done? Done and done. We did it.